about 30 minutes before the shooting incident. He is, at least the state's position is, he's captured on surveillance video walking into and out of the probation department wearing the similar clothing described by our victim and leaving in a similar vehicle.
So I'm going to grant the state's motion in limine in full. If there's anything obviously that comes up, Mr. Burbank or Mr. Coleman, that makes either of you think that any of these things on the motion in limine would become admissible or relevant, just approach outside the hearing of the jury and we'll take care of it at that time.
There is another issue, Judge. An ID tech with Beaumont PD lifted a latent print or prints from the suspect vehicle. Those prints are referenced in a report done by the that ID tech, which was turned over to defense counsel in discovery. And in that report, it indicates that there was a quote unquote APHIS hit on those latent prints that linked back to this defendant. While it was referenced in the report, just this weekend when I was prepping the case, I realized I didn't have those latent prints and I didn't have the APHIS report. So I reached out by email this weekend. The ID tech emailed me the actual prints referenced in the report, and I have forwarded that email to Mr. Burbank.
Okay.
But nevertheless, they were referenced in the report.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
There is surveillance video in this case, Your Honor, allegedly about 30 minutes before the incident, in which this defendant is seen leaving the probation department. He was scheduled to meet with his probation officer on that day, about 30 minutes before the shooting incident. He is, at least the state's position is, he's captured on surveillance video walking into and out of the probation department wearing the similar clothing described by our victim and leaving in a similar vehicle. I think it is important. Certainly, we want to put that surveillance video in. There is no identifying or markings on that video that would indicate "quote unquote" probation department or CSCD. However, I think it's important to establish that the individual by the name of Asa Jones had an appointment at the probation department that day. I am perfectly okay with not referring to it as probation department. I'm not going to elicit the employment of any sponsoring witness for that video. Like, you work for the probation department. What I wanted to say is, and I'm open to suggestions, is a government entity or agency in downtown Beaumont. He had an appointment there. This is video from that government entity. That's my proposal on how to handle it.
I would think for identity, that would be relevant. It sounds like, Mr. Burbank, thoughts on what terminology would be.
My understanding is they're going to put a probation officer up there.
Well, it is what it is. They've got, I would think if you want to, you don't have to necessarily ask exactly what agency they work for. Do you work for, a Jefferson County government agency? And then, we don't have to get into what she does or he or anything like that. You work for an agency, it's downtown Beaumont. Did this person have an appointment? And nobody goes into, obviously, if you cross-examine.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not you even have to get into that. If they're going to sponsor the video saying that this was video from where I work, or not where I work, but I'm the author of this video, and that's it. You say you had an appointment. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put two and two together. But if you say, this is a video of.
Well, but I would think the point of it would be that it was they would be testifying that person with the same name had the appointment. Well, not just the video.
It doesn't have to be an appointment. It's just that we looked at our video. We were requested to look at. I'm, the keeper of the video. It all works well, and upon a request, we got that. This is fair and accurately depicting on such and such a time or such and such a date. They can't. If they're going to say that's him in the video, then I think that opens up. Okay, well, how did you know? Just a strange person. But if he's just going to post the video and say that this was.
But if that person can identify him, can the person identify?
I will admit that video is not the best quality, which is why we would like to go into the records maintained in the ordinary course of business by the agency, by the entity, that would reflect that this person with this name had that appointment that day.
So you're going to get further. I think it would be relevant, and depending on what comes out, probably admissible for identification purposes if that person from the probation office, that we're not going to say probation office, is allowed to say that this person.
Well, he just said he didn't know the person.
No, but he's saying that they have records from the department that say that Asa Jones had an appointment that day at that agency. And I don't see how that's not relevant. If just based on what little I've heard about, this is clothed and identifying factors, and here we have the defendant with this name, and I think it's admissible. I think it's just a matter of tiptoeing around what the agency is, and what you don't have to say what the appointment was for or anything like that, but that he had an appointment at this agency, and I'm going to allow them to testify that.
I mean, it's this person that's going to testify or knows or has personal knowledge that he was seeing her or him at the agency.
It sounds like the testimony is just that he had an appointment that day.
Yeah.
Is that person knowledgeable in reference to the appointments that day, or is he just reading off a record?
As a business record custodian.
Yeah. Okay.
For the record, I objected this time, Judge, and I asked that you rule on it, that it opens up extraneous. In addition to that, well, I think I filed an objections for any of the business record.
He filed an objection, but I don't know that this is the type of, I mean, if it was provided 14 days ahead, then I don't know. It's not like the certificate of analysis where
Showing an objection to the cell phone records.
Specific objection.
I see another objection to 911 call business record affidavit.
But I guess my question is just if a business record affidavit is filed timely 14 days ahead of trial, unlike a certificate of analysis where if there's an objection, then you have to bring the witness. On a business record affidavit, I think if it's filed timely, what is the objection?
I think the only objection, I'm sorry, Mr. Burbank, is to the form. It's to the form of the business record. Or some defect in the business record.
Yeah, I think it's just as to the form. I looked it up and I don't see anything that says if something's objected to, then it has to be, if there's a specific part of the form. I'll take a look at, I looked at one already and it looked, I mean, these are from April. So obviously at least one of them is, and then the other is.
Judge, the 911 call, we're going to bring a live witness to sponsor that.
So we don't have to worry about that one. But then the other one is,
cell phone records, business record.
and that was done also. It looks like it also in early April.
Yes.
Okay, unless there's an objection at the time to the form of the affidavit, then that will be overruled. I'm going to also overrule the objection with regard at this time to a witness from the probation coming and testifying. I will, I think Mr. Coleman understands, and I want everybody to understand, I am going to limit that to everyone only questioning, not mentioning probation department, not mentioning community supervisions, nothing like that. Just had an appointment. It's a governmental agency, had an appointment. Here's the video, the keeper of the video, the keeper of the records that can say there was an appointment. And then unless there's some questioning on cross that opens the door further, then obviously I would just be very careful with that, Mr. Burbank.
Reference to, I have to ask, is he now going to put documentation in as the business record?
I don't plan on doing that, Judge. Just a video, but not as far as.
So testimony of the appointment and the video, correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So obviously if you feel like something else has been opened after any of that, make an objection as it's happening, and we'll take it outside the presence of the jury and go from there.
One last thing, I've provided Mr. Burbank with redactions. I don't know if I mentioned that, timestamps for the redactions made to the video in anticipation of objections by defense counsel, Judge.
So what I'm going to ask Mr. Burbank for that, if you'd need to go over that this evening or tomorrow morning early, so that if there's any objections, I want to know ahead of time so that I can watch the video before we get started tomorrow.
I'm well aware of this court because in appeals that I have written, there have been several attorneys and I represented the court. I think I sent an email to the learned state counsel last week and I got them just now 5 minutes ago.
That's fine.
But
Just
I will take care of it.
take a look at it this evening, tomorrow morning, whenever you have an opportunity, so that if it's something that, mainly if it's something that I have to watch.
Yeah, there's just one thing. There was a interrogation or they brought him in. You're not doing anything.
No,
with the
Judge, he invoked his right to counsel about a minute into that
You
video,
were
Okay.
they talked for 40 minutes afterwards, but I wanted to make sure that
and I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one that you are planning on offering is a video of what then?
Body worn camera.
Oh, okay.
I've redacted the 911 call, in that 911 call had 2 additional unrelated calls on that same recording.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of other videos as well that I've redacted sound only. I don't know exactly what they are because I referenced them by their file names, and the file names are pretty lengthy.
Okay.
I think they were both body worn cameras as well.
Okay. Just take a look. If y'all have any issues, just let me know in the morning. All right. Anything else? Mr. Vasquez, Mr. Smith, Mr. Lewis, you guys are all free to go. Thank